Right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. This lesson is going to be entitled Response to the Spirit is Heavy. Right, so we'll be landbacking off of the Elder Apostle Orion Lob's video, which he's going into the fact how Elder Apostle Tahar, he mentioned, what did he mention? He mentioned the fact that, you know, things happen in this thing, that you speak on certain things, and the Lord allows it to manifest and gives you an example in real life. That's what he said in there. So that sparked a lesson in my mind because of a situation that happened, which was a perfect example of what we were saying and what we say. Okay, and it has to do with the so-called black woman, and to show you that it's not just angry men that are disgruntled and angry and hurt and they just expressing these things. No, it's actually the Spirit of the Lord that makes us to get on them for their bad behavior and their wickedness. Because out of everyone that's going to be judged, they're of those that are going to get it the worst. Because you got men can do for themselves. Men can survive. Men can do certain things, you know, when it comes to survival. Certain instincts they have, so they can do certain things in a survival scenario. A woman is through, and the woman that has the less covering and the less is the most single, and no one wants to deal with them, and has really left the worst taste in men's mouth, is the so-called black woman. So she's going to be out there all by herself. So the Lord is having us to speak on these things constantly. You got certain brothers that go into it more. You know, of course, it's somewhat of a topic we don't like to touch too much, because we might look at it as insignificant, or people might look at it a certain way, but it doesn't matter, because it's the Spirit of the Lord that's getting on them. That's the point. And I'm going to start with 1 Timothy's, the 4th chapter, and the first verse. So this is Timothy's.
I'll get it for you, bro. 1 Timothy 4:1.
I already have it though, it's all good. It's 1 Timothy 4 and verse 1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." Right? So when it says the Spirit speaketh expressly, what's the Spirit? The words of this book, right? The true understanding, the true breakdowns, right? That's the Spirit. The Lord said, "The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." So the Spirit speaketh expressly. Now, when you look up the word expressly, look up the word expressly in the, you can look at in the blue letter. Okay, the word there is Rita, something like that. Okay.
This is the word expressly. In the blue letter Bible, it says ritos.
Ritos, right?
Expressly in express words. Spokenly, distinctly, expressly.
Right. And what does the scripture say about the judgment of the woman? Right. I'm going to get into the story of the example as well. You know, just, you know, have a little bit of patience with us, Baba Kusha. Okay. I just want to kind of build what we're saying here, you know. So the Spirit is speaking these things. Now go to the root word. It says Rio.
Okay. The root word is Rio. It says perhaps akin or
push forward
or identify with, through the idea of pouring forth.
Mm-hmm. Right, to pour forth. So these are the things that we pour forth.
To pour forth, to utter.
Mm-hmm. To pour forth, to utter. These are the things that brothers have been uttering, have been pouring forth through the Spirit, right? About the so-called black woman, right? Starting with our apostles and elders, because they were the first ones to go hard on them, right? Because in the world, you're taught that it's untouchable to speak about the woman, period. They're off limits to speak against. Okay? But the apostles and elders, they're working through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, so they expressed it, through the spirit. So anyways, so I'm gonna go into the story, okay, and why it triggered me to do a lesson, right? So basically, we were at camp, right, and this brother's a witness here. We were at camp, and the first we're I don't remember what we were prophesying about, but a woman came about, a so-called black woman came, and she was on crutches. Okay, her leg was messed up. Okay, and she came in. At first, we were dealing with her proper because she believed she was an Israelite or whatever. But as we were preaching and everything that we would bring out, she would basically counteract it. She would be combative towards it. She wouldn't be accepting of it. She would basically have something to say. As Kevin Samuel said, they have the need to be right. There's no one that's affected with that demon more than the so-called black woman. Okay, that's why I don't argue with the so-called black woman, especially on the comment boards, because if you do that, if you argue with her today, March 2025, she'll still be replying.
Yeah.
Okay, so they always want to get the last word. They got demons on them. They're not in a feminine nature, because what was the woman set up to be? Get me
Genesis.
Yeah, the woman was not set up to be dominant over the man. The woman was not set up to have authority over the man. Okay, so they're not in their proper mindset. They're not in their right mind.
Yeah. Right. This is Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
So their desire is not supposed to be the things of the world and cars and trips and whatever else, or their career. Their desire is supposed to be to their husband. Point blank, period. That's what they're supposed to put their all into. Go ahead.
And he shall rule over thee.
And we're supposed to rule over them. They're supposed to be in submission to us, in subjection to us. Okay? They were created to be a helpmeet to begin with. Okay? But the so-called black woman, her mindset is completely far from that. She's trying to be the woman king. She's trying to be this and that. So this woman who knew she was an Israelite, right, or believed she was an Israelite, was completely out of order and wicked. To the point where I was trying to deal with her, but it got to the point where I had to rebuke her. I had to actually rebuke her and say, that's why the Most High messed up your leg. She vexed us that much because she was constantly being combative. Nah, it's not that, and this and that. And she was going to tell us what it is. She's going to tell the prophets of the Lord, right, what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So she was completely 100% out of order. Right? So after that, she went up her way, and we were vexed. I know I was vexed. I'm not going to speak for the other brothers, but I know I was vexed. Okay, because of the disrespect and the combativeness that she came with. But after she left, another example came, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. Go ahead.
All right, this is 1 Timothy 2 and verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection, but I suffer not a woman to
with
teach.
all subjection means what? You don't got no back chat. You don't have nothing to say back. You con. Yes, my Lord. Well, that's how they were in the ancient world, even in the Byzantine Empire. They would say, yes, my Lord, no, my Lord, when they were speaking to men. Okay? But it's not just about saying it, it's about internalizing that mindset, which is a righteous mindset for a woman to have. They don't have that. And that's why we always say, especially the so-called black woman, and this is a perfect example. Right? Go ahead.
It says here, but I suffer not a woman to teach,
right,
nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
Right, so but they love to usurp authority over the man. Okay? And they've been taught and bred to do that in these past 50 years. They've been taught and bred to do that. Even had this one doctor, TJ something, I can't remember his last name, TJ something. It's like a big, overweight Jake with dreads. And he went into the fact that how he used to have a men's study class in college. And, you know, at first, you know, a lot of so-called black women would come to the classes, right? Because he was constantly, because he learned his whole ideology and mindset from a feminist so-called Black Panther woman. And what do you think she was giving him? She was giving him feminist rhetoric. You know, and that's what the black community is, that's the mindset of the black community today. They have a feminist mindset, a gynocentric mindset, okay, catered to the woman. And, you know, and then he's noticed that a lot of so-called black women were coming because he was scolding the so-called black man. You need to do this, and you need to do that, and this and that, and y'all ain't this and that, right? And they were loving it, and they were chiming in, and yeah. And he noticed that it was more like they went there to point the finger at the so-called black man, so they were loving it, right? And what happened was he started to realize what he was doing. And he noticed that a lot of so-called black men were leaving because they're like, yo, why am I gonna be in this thing to be scolded, right? And told I ain't shit. And you know, growing up, I know in the 90s, growing up, it was you heard a lot that, oh, the black men, they ain't being fathers and this and that and the third, and you need to step it up, black men. And this was being said by other black men as well. They were the main ones saying it. So you constantly heard that rhetoric, but there was never any criticism towards the so-called black woman. There was never any criticism towards the so-called black woman whatsoever. Okay? So he said that what he did was he started to switch up his talking points to be a little bit more, I guess, uplifting toward the so-called black man, if you will. And what happened was those women started to leave. Those women started to leave, the so-called black women. But what started to happen was the so-called Latino women started to come. And the so-called white women started to come into the classes because they were trying to please their boyfriends that they were dealing with. Or they were trying to get a so-called black man. They were interested in so-called black men. So they came when he was uplifting the so-called black man. So that shows you who your enemy is. The so-called black woman was leaving. She was out of there. And then what happened? Those other women of the so-called white woman and the so-called Latino, which, by the way, the so-called Latinos, those are our people as well. So that's not supposed to be considered interracial. It's really intertribal dating when you deal with a so-called Latino woman, or a Latino man deals with a so-called black woman. That's really intertribal, okay? But the point is this, is that they would come and they would be down because they actually cared about what the black woman, what would make the so-called black man happy. Right? And you see this is why the so-called black man is going to the other nations, and the ones that stay with the so-called black woman, they basically have Stockholm syndrome, okay? They basically have a Stockholm syndrome, meaning they begin to love the abuse. They begin to get comfortable with the abuse. Okay? You go to the different sites, you'll see the so-called black woman, not so-called, but the so-called black man, be Nigerian or whatever, and he'll be dealing with a so-called white woman. She's like, yeah, I wanted to cook. I wanted to learn how to cook his traditional food so I could make him happy. Come on, man. Putting in work, right? So,
I got some real quick.
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 3:12. I show my people children of their oppressors, and women rule over them.
Right.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy path.
Right. That's what's happening. Women are in positions of authority in the society, especially in the so-called black community. It's actually disgusting. It's not just the so-called black community, the Native American community as well. Women are the leaders in that. They be at the forefront, man. They have a press conference dealing with Native Americans. Who's there standing there speaking on the podium? As a woman. Okay? So Jake is all messed up, but the so-called black man is completely through. Right? So, and so is Gad. Gad is completely through as well. But the thing that's similar with Judah and Gad is that they were in the midst of Esau. So Esau has a lot of control over their structure. You see? So it makes sense that because the Latin tribes are not like that. The Latin tribes are not really like that on that level. Like, they understand the man is the head of the household. They're somewhat more in order. Okay? So, yes or no? Okay. Now, going into the other part of the example, So she leaves, right? She's a woman in crutches, so-called black woman in crutches. She leaves, and a few later, we start getting cursing. I start cursing out the so-called black woman. Brothers bringing out precepts about the so-called black woman now, because now she pissed us the hell off. And what happens is a so-called white woman in crutches comes by, right, with one leg messed up, just like the other woman. You understand? But guess what? It was the exact opposite experience. She was vibing with us. She was adding unto the spirit. She was in a complete agreement. Yeah. And she had a submissive spirit on it. Okay? And she was in agreement with what we were saying, which brought us to the conclusion she had to be an Israelite that looks like a so-called white woman, because she was in agreement with everything that we were saying. It was the exact opposite. So the so-called black woman came by with the crutches, completely combative, but she believed she was an Israelite. Completely combative, completely going against every point, complete demon, right? Not flowing, not vibing, completely against us. And then we go to then the so-called white woman comes up, and she's completely with us. She's vibing. She's adding on. We tell her to just hold your peace. She holds her peace, you know, in order. The exact opposite. Yeah. So I said, wow, the Lord. So we said, yeah, wow. How about Hashem Yahushua sent a beautiful example? So when we speak about the so-called black woman, it's not just angry so-called black man that's scolded in this. No, and a lot of, I'm gonna be honest, a lot of Jake doesn't know, maybe even brothers in the truth, I'm sure brothers in the truth too, they haven't even experienced other nations of women. So they really don't know what it is. You know, I'm sticking with a black woman. That, hey, I'm gonna be honest, that is, you know what I mean? That's a form of Stockholm syndrome, brother. You know, and we love you, but it's if you never, and you're like, nah, I'm not interested in trying. Hey, that's a brother's choice. I can't say nothing against that. That's a brother's choice. But I'll say this: when Jake goes and deals with them other nations, he's pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Okay, he's pleasantly surprised. All right, because they don't have the same mindset. Even got to mention Kevin Samuels again. He mentioned how the first time he dated a so-called white woman, and he was sick, and she was like, "Oh, baby, are you okay?" Blah blah blah. And she came to make him chicken noodle soup or whatever, and brought it to his house and all this extra, or his dorm or whatever, and was catering to him. He was all surprised. He was like, "What the damn?" Right? Because that's not the treatment he was getting, or he's used to getting from the so-called black woman. That's not the treatment he's used to getting. He's used to getting a whole nother type of treatment. Okay? So that's to show you what? That he was under Stockholm syndrome. Okay? He was in a bad case. Alright? Check to see if the stream is still going well. I don't even know if I'm using the Wi-Fi, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it seems like it's running well, but
okay, seems like it's running well.
Yeah.
Okay, God, beautiful. That's it.
Shalom to
Machaza.
Machaza and the GMS and is like,
Hey, Shalom, I guess.
Yeah.
Shalom, Pillars of Benjamin as well. So okay, that's it. All right. So you got a precept?
Yeah. So I had this is the book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. And I went into the word similitudes, and one of the words in the Strong's definition is to compare. You know, compare, devise. You know, so the Lord showed us a sign of comparison.
Yep.
Between the two, you know, that first woman that came by, that so-called black woman, and the second woman that came by, which, you know, she looked like a so-called white woman, but she, you know, most likely was an Israelite, you know. So that was a sign that Yahweh Hashem showed unto us.
Yep. Right. And it confirmed our words.
That's right.
Well, all right. So when we speak in the scriptures, say that the Lord shall get into that will confirm the words of his prophets. When he brought that example through, it was a perfect contrast, and it was the exact opposite. So this is why, you know, I said the spirit is heavy. I want to do a response to the elder Apostle Ram Lob's video, because that was a perfect example that was shown unto us. And it's not to say that you can't find a decent, or brothers haven't found a decent so-called black woman to deal with them, but it's very, very rare. It's very, very rare, and you have a better chance of finding that amongst these other nations for sure. Because another thing is, these other nations, they're taught to be wives. She could be decent in the spirit or whatever the case. She may be decent, but she's not taught to be a wife. So it's a completely different mindset regardless. You know what I mean? They're taught to cater to their wife, their husband, excuse me. Right? Like Rampage Jackson, he was dealing with this Japanese woman, and there was culture shock. He was like, wow, she's doing everything for me. Even when she was pregnant, she was there fixing them plates. And, he's like, wow, this is amazing. That's why he married her.
Until his mother came in.
Until his black ass mother came into the picture and started to poison her mind. Don't be making that do no. And then what happened? She turned into Satan. Right? So they had to get a divorce or whatever. Right? Listen, man, I'm pleasantly thrilled when I see a woman and she said, "Oh, I don't have no black friends." Oh, that's great. Because that means her mind is probably less polluted.
Yeah.
Okay? On the other hand, you see a so-called white woman, she be talking like the black woman and she got all black friends. That's not a good sign. That's not good. Okay? Dealing with a pale so-called black woman at that point. Don't deal with them. Okay? We're coming to a time where we got to be more selective.
That's right.
About the woman that we deal with anyway. All right? These people got spirits on them, man. These people got demons on them, bro. Heavy demons, heavy spirits. These demons go into these people to come up against you. Get me when Yahushua, when the demons said, "Oh, Yahushua, the Son of God," because the demons, they knew who Yahushua was. Okay, they knew who Yahushua was. Right? So they activated. So the demons know who we are. So when the demons and if the vessel is more unclean, if you will, more polluted, more wicked, then that's more of a safe haven for the demon. The demon is more attracted to that. The demon will more easily penetrate that. Like, it's harder for a demon to penetrate into a brother than a person of the world. Okay?
Oh yeah, the scriptures talk about how when a brother comes into the truth, the demons leave. And he seeks to come back. He sees that the house is clean. So he goes and searches out 7 more demons more powerful than him.
Right.
To try to pollute that man again.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so this is the book of Matthew chapter 8, and I'll start at verse 28. And when he was come to the other side into the country of the Gergesenes, there met him 2 possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, "What have we to do with thee, Yahushua, thou Son of the Most High? Yahweh, art thou come hither to torment us before the time?"
Yeah, that's right. Right. So they knew who Yahushua was, and even with the 7 sons of Sheba, right? They said, "Paul I know." Yeah. I mean, they say, "Yahushua I know, Paul I know, but who are thee? Who the hell are you?" Right? The demons know the true men of the Lord, man. So, you want to kind of keep your distance. You want to keep your distance from people that are vessels for Satan. Right?
Yep, this is the book of Acts chapter 19 and verse 14. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, of a Jew, and chief of the priests, which did so. And the evil spirit answered and said, "Yahushua I know, and Paul I know, but who are ye?"
But who are ye? Okay? So we're telling you that the so-called black woman is more of a vessel for Satan than any other woman on the planet Earth. Period. Okay? They got heavy demonic influence, which all them women got demons on them, but they're the worst, man. They are the worst. They are the worst. Oh, well, okay. When you go on YouTube, right, and you type in, if you go on YouTube, there's all kind of shorts of witchcraft going on. All kind of. They're doing live videos on YouTube right now as we speak. All around 24/7 witchcraft. Because sometimes I'll just be scrolling down the shorts, and what happened? A woman will be doing witchcraft. How does that woman usually look? 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10. I don't even know if I ever seen a white woman doing that, or a Moabite woman on the YouTube. It's a so-called black woman trying to teach you about voodoo. They call it voodoo on the damn YouTube, man. Okay. It may be a Lat tribe and this and that here and there, but it's mostly the so-called black one. That's why we said she's mostly a vessel. She's a vessel for Satan. You gotta be careful, man. You gotta be careful. And men are logical creatures. They deal with probability. They deal with, what is the most logical route that I should take. Mm-hmm. So. Hey man, hey man, I'm telling you, you're going down that path. There's a reason the apostles been saying these things. They ain't just, they're saying it, but they ain't just saying it. Yeah. It's the Spirit that's making them say these things. That's right. And then when you experience it, you experience some hell with them. You wonder why you're catching hell. Go ahead.
Okay.
And maybe you're too caught up in the flesh. You telling me that's the only attractive woman on the earth? Hey man, brothers deal with what they want to deal with, but I'm telling you, man, that was the Spirit that showed us that, man. That was the Spirit. You got 2 different women, and both of them were on crutches with one leg messed up. Right. I kid you not. I kid you not. One was a so-called black woman, and this brother's the witness. Right. One was a so-called black woman, completely out of order, completely combative, but she knew she was Israelite, right? Completely unbearable. And then the other one was a so-called white woman, completely agreeable. The Spirit, she was flowing with us in the Spirit, in order, submissive. I was like, wait a minute, that's a perfect example the Lord just sent by. And they would have to be like, what, 20, 30 minutes apart?
Oh, not even. It was so it was real fast.
It was real fast. Yo, man, I'm just giving the time. I don't remember, so the man remembers more than me, so it was even faster than
regardless,
that. Wow. Yeah. You see? So that's the Spirit, man. That is the Spirit. If that's not the Spirit, I don't know what is, man. They both, let me say that again, man. I got to do it like Dr. Umar. I got to say it 3 times for them, man. They both had crutches. They both came to the camp. They both had crutches. One was a so-called black woman, right? And the other one was a so-called white one. The black one was completely combative, and then she went and crushed her way out. We said that's why the Most High. I said that's why the Most High put you in that fucking position. She was through. Her leg was through. Who knows what was getting ready? Who knows if was getting ready to get amputated, man? But she was still proud. Yeah. And then the other one, the so-called white one, she was humble, But she was in order. She was in agreement with what we were saying, and and she wasn't being combative at all. The exact opposite, man. Right? That's another thing. That's why you can't go off of just how people look. There's Israelites of the speckled bird kind. That mean they look like all these different nations, man. You got them other camps, they would have sister, and she would have cursed you out, talked shit, been disrespectful. Oh, sister, man, sister. We just want to, sister, man. Oh, come on, man. You a queen, sister. You a princess of Israel. I said, fuck you, nigga. You don't understand the Bible. Let me break it down to you. Sister, you shouldn't be teaching. Shut up, nigga. No, but I'm going to deal with her. But then the so-called white woman, she looked like a so-called white woman. And her great-grandfather could have been a so-called black man, for all they know. Yeah. But, she looked like a white woman. You the devil. It's like, no, but I agree with what you're saying. I agree. No, but you the devil, though. No, but
this is a cartoon.
Like cartoon characters. Yeah, I understand women are supposed to be in order and this and that, and I believe that the Lord is a so-called black man. I believe in the name of Yahushua. Yeah, you believe in Yahushua? Well, you still the devil. You still going into slavery. As a matter of fact, and then they'll get the scripture to kiss, lick up the dust of their feet, and they'll put their boot out, You trying to get salvation, and then they worry about putting their boot out, Yo, these camps, man, are like a Boondock episode, man.
Yeah, straight up.
Go ahead.
This is
So I get for the folly. Go ahead.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 14, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of the Most High Yahweh,
Right.
for they are foolishness unto him.
Mm-hmm.
Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned.
You got to be in the spirit. If you're in the flesh, you ain't even gonna understand it.
Amen.
You ain't even gonna understand it, man. All right, and we're coming to the time where a lot of these people that look like these other nations are getting ready to come into this truth. Okay, to support. That was on Instagram, and that was a heavy video.
Oh,
And
yeah.
at the end, he came and said, word. He's like, although I had all these things, I was empty inside, and I know I needed, to, so we know that he's been watching us, and that he's been learning, and he came into the truth, and he couldn't have been watching ISUPK and IUIC because they don't be accepting people that don't come from the typical places. Yeah, IUIC goes to different, Africa and things like that, but when have you seen them go to Italy? When have you seen them, go to Hungary to get the Israelites in there, or Romania? Right? A lot of them gypsies are Israelites. Right? They ain't going over there to go get their wife because they're focused on they're still carnal minded. Okay, they're still carnal minded to some degree. All right? And go ahead. And you even had a brother, right? There's a brother in London. I remember he had a dream that in the kingdom, right? She had a dream of beautiful dream, beautiful lesson. And she seen herself in the reflection, and she was a so-called black woman. But as it stands in this life, she's a so-called white woman. And he said he don't tell her about the truth. So that's all the spirit.
Oh, wow.
That's all the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's all the spirit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But,
verse 15, but he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judged of no man.
right, but he himself is judged of no man. All right? He himself is judged of no, because what we're in the spirit, We're in the spirit, man. You can't judge us because you're not even spiritual.
Yeah.
But, which
Well,
means you're not on our level. If
so-
you're not spiritual, you're not on our level.
So I should have brought out verse 13 first. It says, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches, but
Mhm.
which the Holy Spirit teaches,
Mhm.
comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
Right. And these things are spiritual.
Yes.
That whole encounter
Yeah.
at camp, that was spiritual.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And that had to be one of my favorite spiritual encounters at camp, because that was heavy. That was back to back. I mean, back to back. 2 women in crutches. One was a so-called black one. Another one, their leg was messed up. One was a so-called white woman. 2 totally different spirits and experiences. Right after we were speaking about against the so-called black woman. So even when they act like they're in order, Satan could pop up at any time. You're like, she's decent. Satan. Women can act. Women are great actresses.
Yeah,
You understand that?
they do.
They're great actresses. They know how to act. Look at them, Travis Hunter. She's playing a wonderful role, man. All she's missing is some fringes, man. But guess what? The true nature will come out eventually.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 16, for who hath known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct them, but we have the mind of Hamashiach Yahushua.
Right. Right. We have the mind of Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay? So, a lot of times we speak certain things, it's not even us that's speaking it, it's Yahushua speaking through us. And it may not be, how would you say it, accepted by the world. It may not be, it's not going to be accepted, not may, it's not going to be accepted by the world. Give me that, the world receiveth it not. The things that we say is not world-friendly things. It's actually against the world. The world, in the world, you can't speak against the woman. In the world, you can't speak against. Now it's becoming more acceptable because the apostles and elders put that vibration out there. Now you got the red pill movement, right? Starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, because they were doing that way before that, man. I remember when they used to be prophesying when it was pitch black outside, man. Pitch black. I remember watching those videos. Okay, and they be going in on the woman, right? That's not world friendly. That's not world friendly, man. ahead.
Okay, this is the book of John, Saint John 14 and verse 16. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive,
Yeah.
because it seeth him not,
The world cannot receive the Spirit of truth.
neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he
They
dwelleth.
can't receive it because
Yeah.
it's not in them.
Yeah.
Read that again.
Okay, verse 17. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and shall be in you.
Right. Dwell with you and shall be in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. And you know, they might say certain truths. These different people in the world, they say certain truths, but they don't go full circle with it. They can't go full circle with it. Full circle is too much for them. You know, even Myron Gaines, as tough as he is on the woman, right? Which he's a fucking weird. Anyways, but whatever. As tough as when you really look into these guys, like, what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah.
You know, when he, as tough as he is on a woman, there was times where he would have the woman on the show, and he would say things like, yeah, this and that, men are better than you at this, that, and the third, that, and the third, that, and the third, and men built the world and all this stuff. He said, but I'm not saying that we're superior to you.
Wow.
What are you saying? Right? I don't know if recently he switched his stance, but that's what he would always say that. Then he would go and say at the end of that, I'm not saying that men are superior to women.
Wow.
So what is this whole spiel about?
He's not fully convinced.
He's not fully convinced, but based on what he's saying, that's what he believes, but he's not expressing it.
Right.
Okay, he's not, because he doesn't have the full truth. We have the full truth. We'll tell you straight, yes, men are superior to women. They are over women. Okay? Women were set up to be slaves unto men. We'll say it like that sometimes. You know what? A slave is just a servant. It's just a servant.
Right.
How could he say something like that?
Yep. And that's what the word woman means. It means a female servant. When you go into the definition. You know?
Well, you go to a job, right? Right? You're an employee, right? Employee is just a nice way of saying slave. If people understood meaning of words, this wouldn't trigger them like that. You know? But they're thinking a slave for some reason in their mind, getting whipped. You know, you're getting whipped in the back. You know, they're breaking your teeth to force you to eat, so they don't lose livestock. That's not what we're talking about when we're talking about slave. Slave is just a servant. That's all. That's all. Go ahead.
Okay.
Scriptures also tell you to love your wife. Right? Well, really, the scriptures also tell us to love our servant and treat him as a brother.
Okay, yeah, right.
Because we have need of him. So you're not just supposed to mistreat people. Right? But that doesn't take away from their position. That doesn't take away from their position. And if they're out of order, there's consequences for being out of order. The scripture says, don't be ashamed of making the side of thy servant, a wicked servant, to bleed. So if he's not righteous, if he keeps disobeying, what happens? If a woman keeps disobeying, what does she expect? A gift?
That's right.
So there's order to things, man.
Yeah.
Same thing with a child. If a child dislock brother. If a child disobeys, what does he expect? Scripture says, spare not the rod, or you spoil the child.
That's right. Yeah, because the woman's she's the possession of the man, just like a servant is. It says he is your possession. You know, you pay for him.
Yeah. Bottom.
That's right. This is 1 Corinthians 2 and verse 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of the Most High Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of the Most High Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai.
Right. That's it. Right. So we know the things that are freely. We know these things from the Lord. The Lord gave it to us. He gave us the understanding. He gave us the eyesight to see. So when we go out there, that's like I always speak about that story where the nigga woman was looking at that Jake, and he was off in a friendly spirit of, hey, what's up, sister? He's in that spirit like, I just love the black woman. And she was looking at him with an evil eye, and I was watching her from the side. Right? And I was looking at her with an evil eye, knowing her mindset, knowing that she hates him, knowing that she hates us. And then when she saw me looking at her, she said, oh my God, she kind of, she said, oh shit, he caught me.
Yeah, she's a demon.
Right?
Yeah.
And guess what? She didn't offer him no extra smoothie or nothing for being all nice and kind, right? But me, I was giving her a look of fucking hate. Like I wanted to chop her head off with a pickaxe. But I'm not saying I was gonna do it. I was saying I was giving her a look like that, and she perceived it, and she was being super friendly with me. I got some extra. Do you want it? Give me it. Oh, shit. All right. Right? So why? Because I can see these things have been told us from our apostles. Nothing was hidden. So even that is being revealed. Even that is being shown. And if someone doesn't want to see that, I can't see that. My mother and my sister is black. Even, guess what? Even your mother has the spirit of an enemy on her, man. Because if she didn't have a spirit of an enemy on her towards you, guess what she would have done? She would have told you about these women. She would have did what Lemuel's mother did.
That's right.
She would have gave you the 411. Right? Instead of building you up to be a simp. Right? They say that in the black community, the woman, the man is taught to how to treat the woman. Right? And the woman is taught what to expect from the man. But the woman is not taught how to treat the woman. And neither is the man taught what to expect from the woman. So those are enemies, man. That's not something that if I love somebody, if I love my son, I'm gonna teach him the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna teach him what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, how to move, how people think, and how to benefit. Not how to be played and how to be get Lemuel. Okay. How to be played and how to be. You can read your precept first, actually.
Okay.
But how to be played and all these different things. Nah, I'm gonna teach him everything he needs to know, man.
This is 1 John 2:20. But ye have an unction.
Bullshit. And that proves your mom ain't really with you, man. Mom's not really with you, man. Mom is with the world, man. Mom is with Esau, man. Fuck you mean? Okay? Yeah, we show reverence to our mothers.
Yeah, we have to spread the love, but
But you gotta be sober minded, man.
That's right.
Go ahead.
All right, this is 1 John 2:20. But ye have an unction from the Holy One, which is an anointing, and ye know all things.
Yeah, you know all things. You know all things. Okay, so all these things have been revealed unto us, man.
Okay, this is the book of Proverbs 31:1. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him.
His mother taught him this. This is a mother that actually loves her son for real, for real.
Oh, yeah.
Because she gave him the 411 in the spirit. She didn't hold back and say, "Oh, I'm a woman, so I don't want to tarnish my image." No, she said, "I'm gonna give my son what he needs to know to thrive." Go ahead, man.
This is which we had a few women of understanding. Sarah, she called Abraham my Lord. What's the name? Abigail, the wife of Nabal. She said she was a woman of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she showed more understanding than a fool. You know. Excuse me. Proverbs 31:1. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows. Give not thy strength unto women,
Right.
nor thy ways to that which destroyed kings.
Right. So she's saying that don't give your strength unto woman. All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 4.
And then these dudes will give their strength to their woman and tell them everything, all their deepest secrets and all these things, and then they wonder why the woman done used it on them and broke them down.
Yeah.
Because you trusted in this woman, you gave your strength to this woman. Duh. You got to treat them, even though you got to treat them like the enemy that's sleeping in your bed, like you're sleeping with the enemy. Okay, and that doesn't mean that you just do some evil to her. She's the enemy. I can put her in a chokehold.
Yeah.
No, it just means you keep your eyes open, man.
Yeah.
And you keep certain things to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know how to move.
That's right.
And don't marvel.
Marvel not if she trespass against me. That's a commandment.
Go ahead.
Because even the Most High doesn't reveal everything to his angels.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
Certain things that are hidden. Well, the same thing, you don't reveal everything to your children.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, you don't reveal everything
right.
to your women. Your woman.
That's right. That's part of your glory as the man, too.
That's right.
Right? Well,
That's right. Okay. Read verse 3 again. Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyed kings.
mm-hmm. Yep. Nor thy way unto that which destroyed kings. Because guess what? These women have destroyed kings. Okay? Well, what happened to King Solomon? It's funny that this is in the Proverbs, because that's exactly what happened to King Solomon.
Yeah.
Right?
This is Micah chapter 7 and verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom.
Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. Don't reveal too much unto them. And they're going to nag you to reveal that to them.
Yeah.
But don't.
That's right.
You know?
That's what caused Samson to fall too.
Mm-hmm.
Revealing his secrets to
Just,
was it?
There's a hell to it.
Damn.
There's no
Delilah.
That's the spirit.
Right at the same time, revelation.
Yeah.
See, that's the spirit we talking about. No, go ahead.
That was on that. Which I have confirm it.
Okay, so go ahead and read that.
This is the book of Isaiah 44 and verse 26. It says here, and it's speaking of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai, that confirmeth the word of his servant and performeth the counsel of his messengers, that said to Jerusalem, thou shalt be inhabited, and the cities of Judah ye shall be built, and I will raise up the decayed places thereof.
Right, so he confirms our word. Even sometimes while we're prophesying and preaching, he'll send an example by.
That's right.
It happens a lot of times. Okay, so I just want to bring that kind of that testimony out. You know, at camp, and that happened. I was going to do a lesson on it too when that happened, but I didn't end up doing it. Well, the Spirit has it come out now.
That's right.
You know, so with that, we're going to close up. We're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachadash. Belongs to the apostle, elders, great millstone salutations. Much love and respect to you, Akim, for pushing this word out in truth and sincerity.
Shalom.
Shalom.